tongue in the.
Hey, what is good?
Hello.
Welcome to the Full Timers Podcast. I am Vila.
I am Roeun.
Ricky.
It's a show. Well, oh man, it's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a whole long week. What about you two guys?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it either.
No, it's been very long. A
Yeah.
very long week for me. It's still going, but I'm making the time to record this episode.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a lot of work, basically. That's all it is. But it's bogging me down, but I'm good. Taking it one assignment at a time, and I'll be good to go. Bright side is I'm making that moolah, man.
I don't know the button for that, so I wasn't gonna press it.
Press this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm making
That's
a lot
the
of
one.
money after this project is over with.
Very
so I'm
good.
happy. Yeah. Other than that, for those who are tuning in for the first time, this is the Full Timers Podcast. It is a bi-weekly show where we have candid conversations that awkwardly navigates through the nuances of adulthood. I have no idea what that means. We just shoot from the hip sometimes. Sometimes we have topics. Well, mostly we have topics.
Mm-hmm.
Today's topic is...
It is video games.
Video games.
I don't know. I'm just pressing buttons.
Overusing it. No, I was kidding.
I want to use it till the button's broken.
Now, first, would you consider this a two-parter or
Yes.
kind of, sort of?
Oh, so like I said earlier, it's bi-weekly. We had released an episode last week, and we're making another one now. So it's weekly at this point right now until, I don't know. Yeah, but it is two-parter. Today we're talking about video games, just the general idea of it.
Yes.
And part two, which is next week, after next week, we are talking about E3. I don't know what the E3 means. Electronic what?
Entertainment Expo.
Ah, yes, that.
Something like that.
Yeah, before we get into video games, I went to Comic-Con last week, like I said I was, last weekend. And it was pretty cool. It was the GalaxyCon. I think it was the first kind in Richmond. Well, the first GalaxyCon period in Richmond. And there was a few celebrities, merchandise, of course, which were expensive. I wanted to buy a lot of the toys, but it was super expensive.
Mhm.
Like I saw the old Megazord. The original release was $270.
Wow.
The original release from '95.
Wow.
I wanted to buy it so bad, but I didn't want to drop the money then. Because I figured the entire time, I was like, man, I could buy some of the stuff for cheaper on eBay or Amazon. So
Right.
why would I buy it here?
Did you buy anything?
I bought a photo op with the one Kel Mitchell. I don't know if I showed you the picture. Did I?
I don't think so. You did tell me about Kel Mitchell, but
Yeah. So Kel Mitchell was one of the celebrities that were there. I got a picture with him. If you want to see the picture, go on my Instagram at Vilacron.
very cool.
Yeah, Kel Mitchell. He's a cool guy. So I'm 5'5". I'm very short for a
Dang.
person.
So how tall is he?
Like 5'8".
Oh, wow.
So
So he's probably my height then. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
And he's got the
Wow.
all that shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at this picture, when I asked him to take the picture, I usually don't know how to pose for pictures. So I don't know what I was doing there.
I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know.
He's got the peace
Yeah,
sign.
he got the
kind
peace
of
sign. I
to
don't
the
know.
side.
I
He
just saw his hand at one point. Like, oh, I guess we're doing
A
a
fist
pound,
bump.
a fist bump.
Something.
But yeah, Kel Mitchell's a cool guy.
Cool.
I recommended him to go to a local restaurant here in town called Mama J's. This is not a sponsor. And that same night on Instagram, he went to Mama J's.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
That's your recommendation.
yeah.
Did he like it?
I can't tell. I don't know.
Oh, I guess he liked it enough to post about it, right?
Yeah.
That's an
Posted with one of
indication.
the other people there.
Oh.
Yeah. Other than that, it was a usual Comic-Con, bunch of vendors, comics, cosplayers, a lot of cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too awesome that I've seen that I can remember.
Nothing stood out, really.
No, the DeLorean was there.
The original?
Yeah,
Wow.
It wasn't souped up like the movies. It was just a regular DeLorean.
Oh wow.
People, you had to pay to take pictures with it. Apparently, I don't know. It's funny. When I was walking through the area where all the celebrities were, I overheard a mom. I assume she said that one of the celebrities was rude to her child. I don't want to say which celebrity because I don't want to put him out there like that. But apparently the kid wanted an autograph, but they didn't know that he was charging for the autograph.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Sorry, kid, it's X amount for this autograph."
Right.
And the kid was like, "What? I just want to." And then the kid was sad. And yeah, pretty funny.
I'm gonna have to ask about that after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the wrestlers, Roeun, Trish Stratus was there.
Oh,
She
man.
had the biggest line at her booth. I wanted to get a picture with her, but of course I didn't feel like waiting in that line.
Yeah.
But seeing all the wrestlers there is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The guy from Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, he was
Yeah.
there.
Oh wow.
Sergeant Slaughter was there.
Oh wow.
D'Lo Brown. I forgot who else. All these names are going past your head, Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, huh?
I'm trying to figure out
sounds
who
cool.
else. Kevin Conroy was there.
Kevin Conroy. Oh,
Bruce Wayne.
yeah, I was gonna
The
say
best
Batman.
Bruce Wayne voice ever.
Sweet.
The 2 Yellow Rangers from different seasons were there.
Oh wow.
One of the Blue Rangers was there. He was the Filipino dude. I forgot which other celebrity. Zordon was there. I felt bad for Zordon because he didn't have anybody at his booth.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming because nobody realized that was Zordon. Other than if seeing his name, which is David Fielding
Uh-huh.
on the back, and a picture of Zordon. I don't think anybody connected that because Zordon is just a head in the tube.
But
so you can't really
Isn't
tell.
he also Bulk of
No,
Bulk and Skull?
No, it's not Bulk.
Oh,
No,
I
no.
thought they were both the same characters.
I can see that. But
Whoops.
I felt bad for Zordon.
You know who could be a new Zordon? The dude who plays Kingpin in Daredevil.
Oh, Vincent Delaforio?
Sure, yeah.
Something like that?
Didn't he look like he could be Zordon?
For sure. But Bryan Cranston was a new Zordon member. Did you
Yeah.
watch that one?
I did. I hated it.
Really?
Hated it.
Why?
Just did not like it. I don't know.
Was it because it took it too serious?
I guess so.
I
I mean,
liked it.
also it's like kind of sleepy, but yeah, I didn't like it. I'll be honest.
Oh,
like it.
man. We'd have to fight after this.
Yeah, we'll talk more
Oh,
about
man.
it. I'm
Um,
cool with that.
You gotta get closer to the mic. Remember, it's not the same mic as before.
Oh sorry. Sorry guys.
It's all good. But yeah, that was the weekend before going into this very stressful week. So, are we ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Sure.
It's time for video games.
You should have your own intro for that.
Yeah.
We should have each one of us should have our own intro. It's like one of those bad sitcoms,
Oh,
Yeah,
like
right.
90s sitcoms. How do you want to start this? I mean, I usually write notes on how we
Yeah, do you have
this,
one? Can I
but
turn this?
yeah, you got. But I don't know.
Let's
This is
see.
your wheelhouse, Ricky. So we could just start wherever. Or you
Okay, I'll ask you guys, I
Yeah.
guess. What was your first exposure to video games?
Ooh. The original Nintendo, but it wasn't brand new to us at the time. I can't remember what year it was. Probably like 94. I think we had got it used from one of my brother's friends, and he gave us a bunch of video games with it, and we weren't we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so my parents never bought video games for us at all.
Yeah.
It's either a friend of ours gave it to us or we borrowed it. So the Nintendo one for sure was the first memory. Played a bunch of games like classic Mario. I can't remember what it was called. It was like a Street Fighter game, but it was a Capcom game. I forgot what it was called. Something 2020.
Street Fighter 2020?
No, it was a
I think that was the thing.
it was a guy that was wearing a silver suit, and it's like one of those you walk around the stage and just beat people up.
RPG.
No.
Kind of like
It's a side-scrolling.
yeah, like Final Fight kind of deal. Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not those games.
It was Capcom, something 2020. I can't remember. I'll probably look it up later.
Street Fighter 2020.
Apparently, my brother said the guy was based on Ken. That's why I say Street Fighter.
Uh.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it's supposed to be set in the futuristic time. I remember that game. Mega Man was a classic.
Yep.
Always played Mega Man.
Yep.
But but no, before we had the regular Nintendo, we had emulators on my brother's old DOS computer.
Yeah.
We had to type in the commands C : to find the files and stuff.
Yeah.
We had
boot up.
Mortal Kombat 2,
Oh wow.
Zelda, some baseball game and a boxing game.
Was this SNES emulator?
It was regular Nintendo.
Regular NES?
Yeah,
I don't think I've even had the NES emulator.
because we
The
had
SNES, I did.
because my brother, his friend, gave him the ROM files on a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Not the larger floppy
Mm-hmm.
disk.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
wow.
really big ones.
What
I
are
don't
those
know.
called?
I'm just going with giant floppy disks.
Yeah.
They were pretty huge.
So
I remember those.
it was a small size file, so it had to be like something small enough to
yeah.
put in that.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure.
Mm.
Rude?
I don't know. I was into video games when I was a little kid. I mean, I did have a Nintendo at one time. Nintendo. Yeah, I think I bought. I think my Nintendo was like almost brand new. My parents bought it for me. Yeah.
You said almost. What year was that? Like 80. When was the first Nintendo?
Came out in 85, I think.
What year did Nintendo come out? You said 85?
Yeah.
What's your guess, Ruin?
84.
Close, Ruin. You get the cookies. 83.
Oh, 83. Wow.
Sorry, but there's no cookies.
Damn it.
Okay.
So your parents got it for you brand new?
Yeah.
Remember what game you had?
I had Super Mario.
Mhm.
Classic. Was it Super Mario then, or was it just Mario?
I mean, it was like two
Mario.
different. It was like
Yeah, go ahead.
It was
Yeah.
three different versions of it. There's one that came with the Duck Hunt with the shooting game.
Yeah.
Duck Hunt's classic.
And then there was the one that came with the jump pad thing, the track and field thing.
They remember
Oh
that
yeah,
too.
I remember hearing the story.
Track and field.
My brother he knew someone that had that pad, and they cheated. They didn't run on it. They used their
They
hands.
use their
and
hands.
kept
Yeah,
tapping
I
it.
always
Yeah.
hear about that.
Yeah.
Just use your hands
Yeah.
instead of running on it.
I do remember Duck Hunt.
The light gun.
But I think the light gun I had was broken, so I had to kind of offset it when I aim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
You ever go up to his TV and like try to point
Cheat?
blank it?
Yeah, but it's no fun at this point. So, yeah. What about you, man? You're the gamer of this table.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty similar. So we had the NES growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my three brothers. The first game, so it was either Duck Hunt or Mario. We had that cartridge with both games on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which one was my very first game, but it was one of the two. But yeah, man, that changed everything. It blew me away. Just started it all, I guess.
Yeah. You said Duck Hunt was that the most memorable of the old generation, the past?
I mean, yeah, Duck Hunt and Mario. I mean, I think Mario for sure. That was a more versatile game compared to Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
What else on the NES? Like Mega Man, as you
I
said.
remember Mega Man was a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metroid also. Did you say
Was
Metroid?
that for regular Nintendo, or did that only come
Yeah.
out for Super?
Regular Metroid came for regular Nintendo, and then there was
I didn't know
Super
they were-
Metroid.
I didn't know they had a regular Metroid.
Yeah, it was. There was that.
Zelda. I know you had Zelda.
Oh yeah, definitely Zelda.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever play that one game, Golden Axe?
Yes, I don't think back then, but I have since then.
I had it.
It was 4 characters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember there was
Yeah.
like a Hercules guy with the axe,
Mm-hmm. A wizard dude.
wizard, archer,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Archer.
and a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what she did.
She was like doing.
She had a sword,
Yeah, she had a.
Yeah, she might have been like a warrior.
sword
too.
and shield.
Yeah, sword and shield and probably like sword. She had a shield and a sword, and she was probably like a wizard or something, or a warrior.
I think she was just a warrior because the barbarian was just. I think his fists, maybe. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
getting all
No, he
that
had an
mixed
axe.
up.
He had a big
Yeah.
axe.
Yeah, he had a
no,
big-
That was a
big
golden
axe.
axe. Yes.
Yeah. That game was fun. I never beat. Did you ever beat any of those old games? Because I mean, as a kid, I just never. I don't know. I never took the time to actually
Right.
do it from start to finish.
I mean, back then those games were like super difficult, unforgiving. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
it
like,
was.
Over your
didn't care
mind and stuff.
about
Yep.
you.
Like there was really no physics, so the highest you jump is really the highest you could jump.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, especially on Super Mario.
But yeah, I think Mario was probably the only one, if any.
That you beat.
Yeah, to finish. Like Golden Axe, that game went on forever, man. I still haven't seen the end of that. It just keeps on going.
What was that one game you played at the arcade?
That was Golden Axe.
Was it Golden Axe or was it Gauntlet?
Oh yeah, that was Gauntlet. My bad.
I remember
But Golden Axe
Gauntlet.
is okay. Now I'm getting it mixed up.
Golden Axe is the side-scrolling one.
Yeah, I got that mixed up with Gauntlet. Then my bad.
Golden Axe. If you
Gauntlet
see it,
was
you
the
probably remember.
top-down one. Yeah, I do remember Golden Axe now though.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get the meters for your special attacks.
Was
and
only
all that.
3 life bars?
Sure, yeah. Magic up here.
Yep.
Man. Going
Yeah, I
back
got them
to
mixed up. Whoops, sorry.
when we talked about when schools gave us laptops that one year.
Yep.
We all had Super Nintendo emulators. I
Mhm.
think Golden Axe was one of them.
Oh
that I
wow.
had. Even some imported games too that's all in Japanese. Yeah. That was our first introduction to games.
Yep. And speaking of the emulators, I think that's where I started to get like super into games.
Really?
Yeah. That's because
That was back in middle school?
I think elementary school.
Okay.
I started getting into them, but that's because like there was just all these games for
That you
free.
never played?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true if you
You
think
know,
about it. Once
like
you have
a-
access to the whole
Huge exposure to it, just nonstop, just going at it. I remember SNES emulators. That was the
Mhm.
biggest one for me.
Oh yeah.
Like Earthbound and Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah. Chrono
I
Trigger.
never played Chrono Trigger. I just remember seeing that the art was similar to Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I wanted to play it, but I never had access to
Oh
it.
yeah, it has the same artist.
I think so. It was the guy with the red hair, right?
Akira Toriyama. That's
Oh.
the
Yeah.
character designer for both DBZ and Chrono Trigger.
So I'm looking at this list of history of consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the first console was in '72.
Magnavox Odyssey.
I have never heard of. I've heard of some of these, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
these
heard
brands
of
are
that one.
pretty much gone, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
not
there's-
gone, but making different stuff.
Yeah,
So it went from
Magnavox was they're like a TV company. I don't know if they still are, but they
yeah,
did make
from
them
what
too.
I know. Magnavox, Coleco.
Yeah,
I've
ColecoVision.
heard of that. Atari, of course, is classic.
Yep. We're still looking at all these.
Yeah.
From the 70s.
So when did the Nintendo come out? So they have a second generation from '76 to '92.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo is where in this?
Nintendo actually made a console before the NES. I forgot what it's called though. I don't know how to look that
It
up.
was probably the Nintendo console.
They called it something else. I forgot.
I remember Super Nintendo had another iteration in Japan, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Super Famicom.
Yes, that's what it was.
The colors were on the controller were
Like
more colorful. I guess.
Green, yellow, blue, red,
Yeah, because on the American SNES it was just
dark
like
purple, and purple.
yeah,
Yeah. Why?
gray.
Was that still Nintendo Famicom?
Yeah, it was. I forget what the difference is. You can probably look it up, but there was some sort of difference.
So Nintendo came in which generation? This is generation 3. Damn, that's a long generation span. 83 to 2003.
Yeah,
Generations now don't last that long.
No.
yeah. From 83 to 2000, that spans 2D and 3D.
Yeah,
You know?
and like cartridge CD to just CDs.
Yeah,
That's weird. So nowadays it's just what, like 5 years? This is generation.
yeah. It goes by pretty quick.
Maybe because of
I think.
technology, right?
Yeah, it gets faster and faster.
So Nintendo, which we all had, I guess was the first one we all had it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was the third generation that came out. And wait, I thought it said 83 earlier.
Were you looking at that Nintendo Family Computer?
I looked up the first Nintendo, and that picture came up. So
Huh.
I was wrong. You said 85.
Yeah.
So you get the cookie. The
Yeah.
imaginary cookie.
It says 85 now. I didn't change it.
And I guess the second system that we all had is Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
Again, that one we didn't buy. A friend of ours let us borrow first,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's when I started playing a lot more games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Metroid, Zelda, Super Metroid. Was a Link to the Past? What?
Yeah, A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
Classic.
Star Fox? Did you play Star Fox?
I played it later. I think it was on the emulator first.
Mm-hmm.
I played Mario Kart. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
NBA Jam was fun.
Yep.
You played
Yep.
NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I played that religiously. That was the only game I had in my system the whole time.
Did you have or play any of the Sega systems?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the Genesis, and that's it.
Yeah.
Again, that was given to us by a friend. We didn't buy our first game system officially until the PS2. Did y'all? What about you?
Yeah, I think we still got the PS2 from our parents.
Really?
On that one, yeah. It was for, I think, David's
Well,
birthday.
I mean, yeah,
probably.
like it came in the family first. It was the PS2. Like either parents bought it or my brothers bought it.
Oh, yeah.
The
You're
other
talking about
system was really given to us by a friend or
that.
something.
Oh. I think we had it bought for us from the family.
Okay.
Like, even PS1, N64, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think all of them.
Feel something vibrate?
No.
Oh, it's probably just me. It's my bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, PS2 was the first system. Super Nintendo games. There's a lot of them too.
Yeah.
Ren, did you have a Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I had a Super Nintendo. I had mine brand new. My parents bought it for me.
Damn,
when-
you had both
New.
original and the Super.
Yeah, my parents gave me the Super Nintendo one time for Christmas, brand new in the box.
What was your first game?
Super Mario World.
That too. I remember that game.
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah,
fun.
that game's a classic.
Play that so much. Even my aunt would play it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
She'll get really into it. Like when she's jumping, she would like move the controller up with her.
Yeah,
And
before the
Nintendo
Wii.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Ahead of
Wii.
his time.
Donkey Kong was fun.
Yep.
Donkey Kong Country, that
Was
had a
that
great soundtrack too.
That and was the graphics was also different. Like
Yeah, it was kind of like 3D ish.
Yeah.
2.5D or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It wasn't flat like Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first step to 3D, wasn't it?
Yeah.
if not one of Star Fox was also 3D ish.
Oh yeah, yeah. So was Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart was the same way.
Sort of kind of.
I never played Earthworm Jim.
I
that
played
was
it. It
pretty
was
good.
okay.
It was like 2D drawing. Like I think it was hand drawn maybe, but
Mhm.
it looked really nice.
Yeah.
That was a cool style to
Um,
it. Did you guys play Contra?
Yes,
Contra,
That was
classic.
difficult.
I had that
Super Contra.
for Super and Sega Genesis.
Oh, I remember the one for the Nintendo. I used to use the cheat code and get
Yeah,
the,
Konami code.
yeah, the
Mhm.
30
extra
lives.
What other classic games was there?
I remember Double
So
Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, Double
I
Dragon.
had that for
too.
regular. No, I played that for on the emulators. On
Oh,
the,
I had
on DOS.
I had it on my Nintendo when it first came out.
They had like 7 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Double Dragons, probably.
Wait, no, there was like
It was on, I
I
think it was.
2, 3. I remember 3 for sure.
I think it was only 4.
I was only disappointed because remember the cartoon
Yeah.
on USA Network,
Bibby and Jimmy.
Jimmy and
Billy.
Billy.
But there was a like a translation error.
Really?
Calling Bimmy, yeah, and Jimmy.
on the show.
Or that might have been the game. I'll look it up. There's
I never knew
it's
this.
just it's part of history now.
Yeah.
But y'all don't remember the cartoon
I remember there was one. I didn't watch
I think
it.
so.
where they had when they power up, they the dragon tattoos would morph and they give them like some type of dragon mask,
Yeah.
What?
and they had the fire sword. You don't remember that?
No. I don't think I watched it.
I was only disappointed because the video game didn't have that, but the cartoon did. And I wanted to play that in the video game.
Right.
Double Dragon cartoon. What other games did y'all play here?
So, saying Double Dragons, that reminded me of Battletoads.
Oh yeah.
Play that.
Classic.
And they had Double Dragons versus Battletoads.
That was a classic. I came close to
looks
beating
familiar.
that. You remember that now?
This looks familiar. It's a picture of the
Ren, you remember
Double Dragons
Oh, yeah.
TV show.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Battletoads.
Battletoads.
I never. For some reason, I felt like when you play Battletoads, it felt like the character was always sliding a little
Yeah.
bit
It was a notoriously difficult game.
because of the sliding.
Yeah. And pretty much the controls were tough and just wasn't fair. Game design just not fair.
I first played that on DOS emulator, and then I eventually got the Double Dragons versus Battletoads.
Mhm.
I think my brother and I came close to beating it. I cannot remember though.
Oh wow.
It's been a
That
while.
would have been an achievement.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
All of
Yeah.
them. Turtles in Time. The original release
Remember there was like a fighting game one?
for Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. It was
Ninja
like a fighting
Turtle.
game.
I'm
Ninja
sure there
Turtle
was.
Tournament Edition. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power Rangers. They had the game.
Oh yeah,
They
that was
also had
good.
the fighting game one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fight as Zord.
One based on the movie also. Street Fighter, classic.
Yep.
Street Fighter 2.
Okay,
By
let
the
me
way.
ask y'all this: do y'all prefer Street Fighter or Street Fighter Alpha?
I think Street Fighter specifically. Well, I haven't played in a while, but like Alpha 3 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that.
Why were the games felt different? Like, well, it wasn't really so much different, but more so like I guess because of the art of Alpha was different. It felt better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
more characters than the.
Yeah, demo character.
the animation's probably more fluid in Alpha because that was after 2. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the way they did. I don't know. You guys like frames, like hit frames, and things like that.
Right.
Probably adjusted.
That's
that.
probably why I like Alpha.
Yeah.
Only because the art and it did feel smoother.
Right. But
Um,
I don't know if it was like broken. I don't know if these terms are going over your head or not. I'm not sure.
Broken as in the code?
Not broken as go, but like some of the characters would be like I don't know if they were either overpowered, some were underpowered. Like it just wasn't balanced.
Oh, like Dan? The guy in a
Dan,
pink
yeah.
suit?
I think they did it on purpose. But Akuma had this one move where
Yeah.
you just do it and it was just instant death on you.
Really?
Yeah. Like I would use Akuma and do that all the time. Like it was like Tino and stuff. It was so cheap.
Yeah.
It was that.
Do you watch those tournaments when they have it? The fighting
That's
tournaments?
Yeah, I do.
If it's like
I
the
don't know about you
finals.
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
I do, but
yeah.
I don't know about you two.
I know I'm not that good, but I could button mash pretty well.
yeah.
I think that's why I like that game too, because it's an easy learning curve. Like most of the button combinations are the same for all the characters for
Yeah.
the most part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fighting games, they have a low skill floor,
Yeah.
but a very high skill ceiling too.
Yeah, like going back to the tournaments that they have, I saw one where people got hype where one dude managed to perfectly time a block.
Yeah, parry.
A parry against somebody's special,
Yeah, Chun-Li's special move.
and some in the crowd went nuts. I had no idea what was going on.
It was
Yeah, I saw
amazing.
that.
Yeah, if you see it, like it's awesome. I think that was Street Fighter 3, like Third Strike.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I remember that.
I just remember 2 and alphas, and that's it. I didn't know they made a third strike.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think that's the most underrated one. Third Strike that introduced like a bunch of new characters, and playing that game felt way different from Alpha and way different from 2
Mhm.
also. So
Yeah.
Okay, there's Street Fighter. I was never a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. Like it was fun, but I don't know. To me, I don't know. I think all the excessive violence was just a little excessive.
then you use like realistic like character animation captures.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
one had
Motion
a lot of
capture.
controversy behind it.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, though, like when you pit that against Street Fighter, I would prefer Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But I don't know if y'all feel the same way.
Yeah, I wasn't back then. I wasn't in as much into Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool and everything. The movie, I like the first movie. It was really great. But as far as the games go, yeah, I didn't play them too much. Wasn't into it, but for some reason, like recently, like more modern times,
Yeah.
it's been more interesting to me. I still haven't played them. Just watch like Let's Play on YouTube.
You been watching? Really?
Yeah, like watching matches and stuff, and
Okay.
it is pretty interesting. I like it, but anyways, yeah, that's
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I remember Roeun said there was controversy with it.
Yep.
Early on, was it because the extreme violence?
yeah, especially the fatalities. Like it was super brutal and everything.
Yeah, I had looked up some of the controversies around video games in general in
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat. I forgot all about it. Mortal Kombat was on like one of the original controversies for video games.
Yeah, that's pretty much the game that spawned the ESRB ratings.
Yeah, the rating. That's what I read
Yeah.
on
Yep.
this article
Mhm.
too. Mostly because of the blood
Yep.
Mhm.
And the
and
violence.
being impaled
Or
by
violence.
the spikes. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as a parent, I don't know. I mean, I have nephews and they play like shooting games. At one point a few years ago, my nephew was all in Call of Duty, and I didn't mind him playing that game. Really, I
Mhm.
don't know. Do y'all have a different perspective on this?
Not really. Like growing up, I played really violent video games.
Yeah, we
No.
play Mortal Kombat. That's
Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto.
we watched Rocko's Modern Life and Fred and Stimpy, and that's like some outwardly
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be perverted stuff.
yeah, true.
But yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I mean,
That was crazy to me.
yeah,
Really
open
crazy.
world
You could do whatever you want. run
robberies
around.
and killings and random. I don't know. I mean, Did you read that Kotaku article that came out recently about the court? They had ruled that there is a disorder called excessive gaming disorder.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I did read that or heard about it at the very least.
I
Excessive
saved
gaming,
it in here somewhere. I could pull it up. Gaming disorder ruled by the court. It is now an illness.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read the whole article. Did you read all of it?
I think I skimmed through it, and
Did you see what they classified it as, the disorder? He's reading it now.
Oh yeah, so there's like 3 points I see right here. So one is impaired control over gaming, e.g., onset, frequency, intensity, duration, termination, and context.
Wait, what?
It's just that's what they
Like
said.
you can't put the game down, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess like impaired. Let's see, impaired control over gaming. Yeah, like you can't control the frequency or your intensity, duration.
That's weird.
That doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, the second one says increasing priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities.
I could see. I already see two arguments there. One, you could be a paid gamer, which that's your job. You got to play, right?
Right.
Uh huh.
But then other side is you're playing too much games and you're not even getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're like the Twitch streamers and stuff,
Yeah.
that is their priority because they're getting paid for it. So
Yeah.
it's not.
But the other
bad,
side of the
but
coin,
if you're doing it
that's part of
just
the
to do it,
addiction,
yeah.
right?
like it says, like priority over other stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty detrimental.
I could see that as, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the third one is continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. The-
Like,
I didn't say like, but the behavior pattern is of sufficient severity to result in occupational or other important areas of. Oh, I just skipped the whole line. Result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas of functioning.
so that's the longer version of Bullet 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I could understand that third bullet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair to say as a disorder. I mean, I think they're still trying to classify it and identify it and all that, but I think there is such a thing as excessive gaming.
But that goes for a lot of things, though. It doesn't have to be just game. It could be other stuff.
Right. But do they call those other things disorders too?
I'm sure they would if it's like not at the forefront of culture.
Right. Like
'Cause
I don't
gaming,
know.
it blew up.
Yeah.
Even more.
Pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can be addicted to it. I don't know if it's the right word or not, but
Obsessive addict. They use obsessive in the article, so that's pretty much the same thing as being
So-
addicted, right?
I guess I don't know.
What is? I mean, addiction is the same thing as like you can't put it down. That's like it takes over your life, regardless of negative consequences. Yeah, I mean, same meaning.
Hmm.
I mean, the whole idea of violent games influencing extreme behavior, like I don't want to say it, but yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
mass shootings.
Right.
People blame Call of Duty or other shooting games at one point.
That I don't think I see the correlation too much
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, I grew up playing crazy violent games,
Yeah.
like Grand Theft Auto again and Mortal Kombat. Doom was a pretty big one. I played a lot of very violent games, and I would not consider myself a very violent person.
Yeah, in some ways it could be just a release, right?
Yeah, I think people who are doing bad and they correlate it, doing bad things and connecting it to video games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've always had that inside them.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, for someone to act on or imitate the things you see on like something extreme, it's already like you said, it's just already ingrained on how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know if that's accurate or fair to say. But I mean, yeah, I'm not a very easily influenced person. It's just entertainment for me. I know how to separate entertainment from reality.
Yeah.
Whereas other people probably don't.
Yep.
Not on a video game example, but wrestling fans. Some fans are not able to separate that it's just a show, a scripted show. People think is real still.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So like in wrestling, you watch a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make you want to go out and like pile drive someone, does it?
At the gym.
Or start a fight with somebody.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't have the impulse to go to the mall and just
Drop kick somebody.
drop kick or choke slam or something. I don't know.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't. But yeah, because I'm able to separate that. Some people can't, and maybe I'm not an expert at saying any.
Yeah, this
think
is
so.
a very touchy subject.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to dance around it a little bit.
But yeah, is it fair for people to target games like that, video games, as a scapegoat in a way? I don't think it's fair.
It's not fair. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased at all. I'm trying to be neutral.
Yeah,
but that's hard
neutral.
because I love video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's fair. I don't.
Yeah, because a lot of other things are also as damaging.
Right. People, I mean, TV and movies have been blamed in the past, and
Mm-hmm.
also I don't think they've been to blame of some stuff that's happened.
Are they off the hook now? I feel like they are off the hook.
I guess video games took its place.
I feel like it's video games and YouTube videos.
You know what's the thing about video games is because it's interactive. You know,
Yeah,
the other
it
stuff you're just watching it, but for games you're actually
You're in control of that destiny
Yeah.
in some ways, especially Grand Theft Auto.
especially.
When you play Grand Theft Auto,
Hmm?
we're gonna go on a left turn on that controversial topic.
Sure.
Did you ever do the missions, like play the game?
Oh yeah.
like that?
Well, when I was gonna get to this later, but yeah, starting to say like GTA 3, Grand Theft Auto 3. That was the first 3D one.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember playing that for the first time, and I remember just being blown away because you know you got this whole city, you can do whatever you want,
Right.
drive whatever cars you want, and you know all that stuff. Yeah, for a long time, we just ran around in the open world and did whatever.
Mhm.
But eventually, I got into the stories and did all that, which was pretty good too. I
It's
liked
funny because when I first played, I think 3 was the first introduction for me for GTA, and I didn't know there was missions. I thought you just go around and just
just a
go
big
into this
sandbox.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's all it was.
Right.
And then what was after that? Grand Theft Auto
Vice City.
Yeah, and then I realized that there is missions in this because I never played it. Again, that was one of those games where I borrowed from a friend along with the memory card, so I didn't know he had already beaten the game.
Mhm.
I just jumped right into the world.
Oh yeah, so it was just
Yeah,
no missions to do anyways.
yeah. Nobody hit me up on the flip phone,
The pager.
the pager.
Yep.
Ru-
What about
would
you,
you-
Roeun?
Did you ever play GTA?
Yeah. I played the original one. I played 2. I played the third one.
Yeah.
But I never got to the ones that got released on PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Which ones are those? Vice City.
PS3 was GTA 4. I want to say.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, PS3.
No, Vice City was PS2.
GTA 4 and GTA 5. Yeah, but that was at the end of the PS3 life cycle,
Yeah.
like that generation.
Is it still as popular as it was?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. You know, right now, GTA 5 it makes most of its money from the online component.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
still. I
I didn't know
think
there was
people
that.
Yeah,
people still play it as a novelty or something, or play.
Like-
yeah.
yeah. Online they have these things called shark cards, which is like just like in-game cash, but
Mhm.
people spend real money to buy the in-game cash. Like it's crazy how much people spend on it.
So that's probably why a lot of games went on online platforms.
Yeah, and you know about like loot boxes
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty much just gambling in video games.
I know.
So you're talking about obsessions and addictions. You got
That's right.
Our boy,
Yeah.
not our boy, but Ethan, didn't he do a story or a video about that?
Oh yeah, he did.
It was a scam of a loot crate.
Yeah, like Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
loot box. Sorry, not loot
Mhm.
crate. GTA. What was the other open world games? I remember Zelda was another. Well, that was the latest open world game I played for
Yeah.
Switch.
Breath of the Wild.
I think I said I couldn't beat that part already.
Yeah.
I got stuck at the
The
elephant. where you
elephant.
Yeah, I think I talked about this too much already. other games, I haven't beaten much games for real.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, you said you kind of fell off the video games in college, right?
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's see. How far do I go back? How far should I go back? High school?
Yeah, high school. Start there.
Okay, so I think all throughout even middle school and high school, all we had was PS2
Mm-hmm.
and played, Metal Gear. I'll talk about that later.
Me too. I'll talk about that later.
Fight Night was the game that I was playing religiously.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, Fight Night 2 and 3. Then going into college, I had a PS3. I played all the sports games, really football, basketball.
Me too.
Metal Gear 4 was
on PS3.
Yeah,
4
was the one of the original releases of the PS3 games.
I don't know if it's original, but it was on PS3.
Okay. And so in college, freshman year, I was playing games instead of doing my homework and my assignments, and I didn't realize that I was flunking. So I guess the signs was you're messing up at school. So one day randomly my PS3 got the yellow light of death, which was equivalent to the Xbox 360's red ring of death.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man, maybe I shouldn't be playing games anymore. Because after that, the PS3, after the yellow light, I didn't have another system since.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the Switch recently when it first came out.
Yeah,
that was my next systems after the PS3. I haven't played the Wii U. I didn't get the Wii. None of the Xbox S's. Is that what it is? Xbox One.
Xbox One.
I didn't get that. Not the PS4. What else came out between then? PS3 and Switch. I think that's it, right?
For the most part, I mean, there's like the handhelds, but I know you didn't play those.
I never got the PS Vita.
The 3DS or DS.
3DS.
All that.
That's it. I mean, after that, I focus on schoolwork.
Yeah.
I think it was a blessing for real because I would have flunked out.
It's that disorder, man.
It wasn't a disorder. It's just that I didn't realize I was messing up.
I was kidding, man.
Because I was playing just Fight Night the whole time.
Yeah. So it seems to me like you played mostly like sports games, right? Fighting games and all that.
Now that I have the Switch, I don't play much sports games anymore. The games I like to play now is games I could easily pick up and put down.
Right.
Where I could play a few stages and then I'm done for the day, kind of thing.
Drop in, drop out.
Yeah. Like even for mobile games, I don't play much mobile games because it's not that fun.
Yeah, those are just cash grabs.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that attests to like my attention span now or my priorities now. Like I don't have much time to sit down and enjoy an RPG.
Right.
Like I wanted to play Metal Gear 5 and Metal Gear Revenge. Is it
Revengeance? Yeah, Metal Gear.
I haven't played those two yet, and then Metal Gear is one of my favorite video game series of all time. But I just don't have the time to sit down and just play it because I have so much stuff going on now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you stop playing games, Roeun?
Yeah. I stopped playing games, but I'm trying to probably get back into it.
And when did you stop?
Probably college.
Just like me.
Probably college. Then I picked it back up when I became an adult, and now I'm trying to get back and try to be up to date with all the cool kids.
So when did you become an adult?
Probably
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right on.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I probably put video games down now since I had my job, and now I'm trying to get back into the video games because all these cool kids will be like, yeah, you need to get a Nintendo Switch.
I want to play again. It's just that I don't have time.
Yeah, me too.
That's what it is.
I mean, I do play the what is it? Little mobile games on your phone. Like the on like the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play those. I play a couple of those.
As far as mobile game goes, I download like Sudoku and chess, and that's it. And one point we played Trivia Crack.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Those trivia
pretty.
games. Yeah, I still like those.
Is this still a thing?
I don't know.
stuff.
but-
Games like that where it's easy and I just press buttons.
Right.
Because it's quick, you know. So,
Mhm.
but you played ever since.
Yeah. The video games, for me, that's probably my number one passion, I think.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what is the role of video games in your life now? Obviously, you play a lot, but like
Yeah.
you say your passion. Go ahead. Let's dive into that.
I guess like any other medium, that's like music and
Mhm.
movies and stuff. I just like to see. I always like to see like what's coming out that's new and refreshing and
Mm-hmm.
just like new ideas and stuff. Like, oh, there's so many factors to consider, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like gameplay. I mean, that's a huge one, obviously, because you're actually playing the games. I like a lot of story-based games, some good character design and levels. I don't know. It's just fun, like trying to, like, if you're playing a game and trying to figure out what the developers were thinking when they made the game, you know. And I don't know. Just, I mean, I think a lot of people have a lot of stories to tell, and again, like music and movies, that's just another way for people to put their stuff out there and let people enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I respond to that.
I guess in a way it's like also exploring the new wave of technology.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
It's always on the forefront, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back, remember how we said Donkey Kong was like one of the first 2.5D?
Yeah.
When did it become actual 3D? Was it the Sega Genesis?
Donkey Kong 64, which I never played.
Mm-hmm. So
And
64 was like was it one of the first
One of the
consoles?
first 3Ds
Yeah.
consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were originally. Let me see if I can get this right. Sony and Nintendo were originally trying to make a console together, a 3D console,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they
And
couldn't
that was supposed to
agree
be the PlayStation, right? Well,
or
it
something.
was around
else.
that time.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Nintendo console, but
Yeah.
they couldn't agree on having a disc versus cartridge. I guess,
Yeah, I
you know?
remember that.
Yeah. So Sony, they made their own thing, which became the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo had the N64.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think those two. I forget which came out first, but those two were like the first fully 3D consoles.
Remember the failed attempt of Sega CD?
Yep.
Was it Sega CD or Sega Saturn?
I remember. I think it was Sega CD. Sega CD.
That was like an extension,
Yeah.
like an expansion, right?
Yeah. Sega CD then came out the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, Sega CD was an attachment to the Genesis.
Yeah.
But from what I remember, the Sega CD was just like a bad DVD, interactive DVD.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a DVD menu where you click on options and it plays out the scene for you or something like that.
Oh, I think that's
That's
some
from what I
certain
remember.
games. Yeah,
Was it- oh,
certain
certain
games
games?
were like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I might be wrong, but Wing Commander maybe.
Yeah. Wing Commander was one of them.
I barely remember
It
that.
might have had Mark Hamill in it.
I barely remember that. I vaguely remember that.
I could
And
be
then
wrong.
after the Sega CD was Sega Saturn, right?
Yeah, I remember Sega Saturn.
I get all my Sega consoles mixed up. Like when
Genesis.
they came
I just know
which one.
Genesis was their first one.
Right. There was
Was
the I don't know Genesis. There was the Masters or something.
I don't remember. We could look it up.
Saturn,
After Saturn,
Mega Drive. Oh, that's a CD.
I think
Mega
after Saturn, they realized that they kind of fumbled,
Drive.
and then that's when they released the
The Dreamcast.
classic Dreamcast.
Oh, that ruined the presentation.
Yeah.
yeah, you did.
My bad. I didn't know what you were doing.
That came out the same around before PS2.
Yeah, and that one did a lot of new innovative things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
first one
I
to have
remember.
online play.
I remember. Yeah, they had the dial-up,
Modem.
dial-up port in the back.
Yeah.
yeah.
They had that. It might have been the first with a memory card.
Yeah.
No, maybe
With
not.
y-
Right? I don't
Uh,
know. No, because PS1 had it.
Yeah, it did.
But
was
the first
a-
one,
Yeah.
it had like the screen on the controller, which
What was it?
a lot of
They
people
called
do
it the. They called the memory card the memory stick. No.
Yeah, the memory stick, I think.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I remember I bought the Dreamcast used a few years ago. I sold it already.
Yeah, I remember that.
The classic game was Shenmue. Who remembers Shenmue?
Yeah, of course.
Shenmue was a 3-disc game, 2-disc.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man, I think that was a one RPG. Would you consider that RPG?
Yeah.
Open world. I think.
Open world-ish. It wasn't completely.
Yeah.
They give you some freedom, but not 100%.
That was one of my favorite games growing up
Mm-hmm. That's
as
really good.
a young preteen.
Yeah, because there's nothing like it before that.
Yeah, it was fun,
It's
man.
great.
Even though it took forever,
Yeah.
I think I spent the whole summer just playing Shenmue. They also had the mini games where you had to hit button combinations to play the scene right.
Mm-hmm.
If you mess up, you
Yeah, quick time
Start-
events. Call 'em.
what is it? Quick time.
Quick time events.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was part 1 or part 2. You played part 2?
I don't think I did.
It was import. You had to import it from Japan.
Mm.
Well, for Dreamcast, it came out eventually for Xbox,
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember which one it was on, part
Mhm.
1 or part 2. But there was one stage where you're at the warehouse dock. Remember that?
And you have to drive the forklift.
Drive the forklift, but near the end of the video game, you have to fight the gang, the dragons, whatever, at the dock
Yeah.
at night. Oh man, I felt like I was in a movie, like in a
Oh,
Jackie
man.
Chan Jet Li
Yeah,
movie,
right?
just playing it out.
Just
Yeah.
Wasn't there a dance segment in it?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I can't remember.
There
It
was a lot of stuff
fun.
like you could play at the arcade. There was like a what do you call it? The coin toy machine.
Kaplunk. Wait, what?
I don't know. No, it's like the vending machine toys. You put a coin in.
Oh,
The claw.
the claw machine.
It might have a claw machine back then, but I don't know.
The
Toy dispenser, whatever. I remember you could get a Sonic toy in there.
Yeah,
That's what
Sonic
it-
Adventures was fun for Dreamcast.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember
yeah. I
that.
think that was
The
a
first
launch
3D
title.
one?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It was hard to see though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
the
a-
camera angles.
Yeah, and it was very, very mind blowing for me when I played it
Yeah,
because it was a whole lot of the whole different experience from the original Sonic the Hedgehog on
Mhm.
Yeah, the thing was 3D,
yeah.
3 dimensions.
back to Shenmue. You never played part 2, right?
I don't think so.
I think he had went to China
Okay, definitely not.
to follow the dude that's killed his
Killed his
dad.
dad. Yeah.
And then in part 3, part 2, he met the girl. And then at the cliffhanger of that was them going to America.
Okay.
And I can't remember when part 2 came out, but apparently I just read today they announced Shenmue 3 for November. The development of the game, have you been following that? I just know it's been pushed back, delayed many
Yeah.
times.
I haven't looked too much into it but from what I understand, they were trying to fund it but didn't get enough, and they were just like a lot of development issues, so they keep having to delay it.
I remember I saw, was it a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter for it?
Yeah, something like that.
Was it nobody didn't want to pay for it?
I guess not, but it's Sega, you know.
Is that a niche game? Like only a specific audience was going to play that? 'Cause I thought it was bigger than it was.
Back then, yeah. Well, here's kind of an interesting thing, and I might get this wrong too. I don't know, but anyway, Sega has a different game series called Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to Shenmue. It might be like the same developers. I know it's Sega, but like the internal developers. Very similar to it. I'm actually currently playing Yakuza 0, which is one of the most recent ones.
Wasn't it on your list of games to get or something?
I don't think so. I don't think it was on that list. But anyways, yeah, like it's really similar, and that game's like that series is really successful.
Mm.
So I think if they do make another Shenmue, then they'll have that same audience for it.
Yeah. I don't know why they couldn't make that game earlier. I mean, if they waited this long,
Earlier.
it has to be good, right?
Oh, you're talking about 3?
Yeah, Shenmue 3.
I think it's just like logistics and
Yeah.
copyright stuff. I don't know though.
You think it'd be worth the wait?
That's tough to say, man. A lot of games that take forever,
Probably don't.
it's hard to succeed.
Yeah.
The hype is too real.
Yeah. Dreamcast. Did you ever play Crazy Taxi?
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
I
Hell
never
yeah.
played it, man.
Oh, you haven't?
I never had a
Dang.
chance to play it.
That was great, man.
Yeah.
So good.
I remember my friend used to get the Dreamcast magazines. Was it a magazine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
But every issue there was a demo.
Yeah, demo discs.
And the demos I played the most was Tony Hawk, Jet Grind Radio,
Mm-hmm.
Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
There were 2 different games. I think
Jet Grind was the first one.
yeah.
That was fun. And Skies of Arcadia,
Yeah, that was a fighting game, wasn't it? Or no, I'm thinking of,
RPG turn-based, I think.
oh, okay. I was thinking of Power Crystal or something.
Power Stone War.
Power
Stone Fighters, Stone Wars. That was fun.
Power Stone. I think it was just
Power
Power
Stone?
Stone.
That was fun. That was like their own version of Smash Brothers, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of platform.
I never played it. Actually.
Really?
No.
You collect. There's stones on stage, and you collect them. It enhances your
Powers.
specific powers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It
I did
was
play
fun.
Soul Calibur. Did you
Soul
play
Calibur
that?
2? Or just one?
I think both.
It was Soul Blade, right? Soul Blade and Soul Calibur.
Oh yes, yeah.
and Soul
Soul
Calibur
Calibur.
I remember Soul
Took off.
Calibur.
That was a classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way different from Street Fighter.
Yeah, and that thing was 3D, three dimensional.
Because you can, character. Can
Would you
move
say that's
forward.
2.5D? Or 3D?
I would say it was 3D. Even if it's a fighting game,
Yeah.
but it's 3D. Like the
Yeah, the
models and
graphics
stuff.
on it was like ahead of its time, I think.
That game I played that a lot. My guy was Maxi, the nunchucks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that was mine too. Actually, Maxi.
There was Maxi and Kalik, the guy with the bow staff.
Yeah, I remember Kalik.
Yoshimitsu was sweet too.
The
Yeah.
sword dude.
The samurai.
Was Valdo in back then? Remember
Valdo was
Valdo?
scary.
It was
yo.
like Edward Scissorhands.
This one time, me and my brothers would always play Soul Calibur 2. And now one time at night, he was moving around like a Valdo
Mm-hmm.
in the house.
Oh
He was
yeah,
chasing me around. I was so freaked. I was freaked out. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he scared me.
Yeah.
He didn't dress like him. He just moved like him.
Valdo. Yeah.
Yeah, it was early on dominatrix.
Oh shit. Guess so. You gotta represent every subculture.
What is
Every
it about?
demographic.
I don't want to target them, but what is it about video games that always portray women in that scantily clad outfits?
I think it was the era because movies were doing it, TV.
Comics,
Yeah, just that whole era, not just specifically video games, but
I mean, I was gonna say Japanese people.
oh man, well, that's,
Remember Dead or Alive?
yeah,
That
Dead or
was
Alive,
blatantly.
right?
And they had the beach game after.
Oh, yeah.
It's just those
Yeah,
developers.
Dead or Alive.
Who made that?
I think that was Sega,
Was it
maybe.
the Sega prop. Like,
I could be wrong again. I don't know.
Oh, it
These
was Sega.
games, like the whole Sega lineup and everything. Like, I know the least about out of all the other
Right.
gaming stuff.
I was the one game called Slave Zero. You probably never played it, right?
I don't think so.
Slave Zero was this like you're playing as a robot trying to save something. It's like a very futuristic game. I never finished it, but it was super fun. Slave Zero. I'm looking it up now. Dreamcast. Here it is.
Okay,
You remember this?
Slave Zero. This guy looks familiar. Can I go to images? Yeah, this dude on the cover. I swear
Yeah,
I've seen him
so
before.
you're playing as that robot dude, and I
Yeah.
think there was like level ups with different weapons at one point.
This looks so familiar. Maybe I have played this. I just forgot about it. Does that look familiar?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the first games that I played where the controls were very different. Because you remember how the Dreamcast controllers, it was one joystick on the left hand and the D-pad below it. Right hand was the 4 buttons.
Yeah.
And then there's triggers.
Mm.
I think that was the first game where I played where the right hand buttons is how you move the character.
Mm.
And the joystick is where you move where you turn, basically.
Turn left and right.
Yeah. I never played a game like that before.
Right.
And it felt easy. I guess that's because of the way the Dreamcast controller was laid out.
Mm.
I can't remember. Was there other games like that? I never had an N64.
Have you played one?
Yeah, I played it, but I never had it.
That controller was wild.
Speaking of controllers,
I don't like that controller.
this was on one of my notes that I wrote down
Okay.
to talk about. I guess we could gloss over it, but What is the best and worst console controllers
Worst.
that you could think of?
N64 for me. Worst.
Yeah, why? I know they want to be innovative, like how they always are, but like, why that? Like, you can't even fit your hand in the middle. The middle.
I don't
I guess
know.
you call it prong. I don't know.
Yeah, like a fork.
It's like a foot. If you think about it.
Do we do the best or do we do
This is the worst.
the worst?
It was the worst one you could think of right now.
Probably the Xbox, the original Xbox.
Was it?
Yeah.
Call it the Duke. It was a gigantic controller.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
was
did slim
huge.
down for a 360.
Yeah.
you're right.
But the N64, man, that joystick, it would be so weak too. Like eventually it would just get flimsy and just
The joystick.
yeah, it'd be hard to
Yeah, it's
control.
And I think number 2 would be on my list. Is probably be the one for the Nintendo Cube.
The GameCube?
Yeah,
Oh
the GameCube.
man, I love that controller.
What was that?
The GameCube controller.
GameCube. Oh,
You remember how it looked like?
yeah. There was a joystick on the right hand.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
The
buttons
C
look
stick
like-
on the right. Yeah.
The buttons look like a happy face or something, like some
Something
type
like
of
that,
face.
yeah. I like that controller. I'm a fan.
I think my worst one now as an adult is the original Nintendo, because it was just a
Square.
a small square, and if I try to play it now, the corners of it would puncture or hurt my thumb or my palm.
But it looks pretty classic though.
Yeah, it is classic for sure,
design.
but
I
I
think
don't
I think I would put the Nintendo classic Nintendo on my best list.
your best
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, yeah, it fits your hand as a
And
kid.
then after that they had the transition to switch over to the Super Nintendo controller.
Mhm.
But then I think the Super Nintendo controller was advanced too at its time because you had the
The
top
shoulder buttons,
Yeah, the
left
shoulder-
and right.
yeah,
Mhm,
especially if
that's
you was like playing fighting games or pinball or something.
Oh, another one that came to mind is the Sega Genesis controller, where the back was flat, so your hand wasn't really
Yeah.
conforming with it.
Not ergonomic.
Yeah, exactly, for real. And the plastic buttons, like, depending on how you play it, will eventually hurt your thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
especially when you're playing like Mortal Kombat or Sonic.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't very intuitive. Just
And
pressing
then
those buttons.
and they had like the 2 different versions of it. The one that had just the ABC button, and the ones that had the
The triggers too, right?
the triggers and had the extra 6 action buttons. So like if you're just playing like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, you could do like
Mm.
high kicks and low kicks and blocks.
Yeah, like similar to like an arcade cabinet, right?
Yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of buttons.
And
but
then I think I'd probably say number 3 was probably the
number 3 bad.
number 3 bad would probably be the I forgot what company made it, but they made it for the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, because I used to use it when I was playing Mike Tyson Punch Out, the big joystick.
I was gonna say the Power Glove.
Oh yeah, did y'all ever have that? The Power Glove?
I don't think so. I
How
always
you
wanted to
supposed to
try
play
it though.
You put it on,
Uh-huh.
and the controls are on. It's a motion sensor.
Yeah, it was a
Maybe
motion
it
sensor.
also had buttons on it too.
Yeah. I
But
had
it didn't work really well.
I got rid of mine right away.
It's a
Pretty bad.
nostalgia thing now, right? Like, people just have it as a collectible.
I
Yeah.
think it took batteries too at one point.
Maybe.
The one I had.
You can look up so much videos about it. It's like a
Mhm.
whole history.
Yeah.
Remember the bazooka for Nintendo? Was it Nintendo? They had it was a
Oh,
big
the bazooka gun. Yeah, they have that in
What was the
Smash
point of
Brothers. It's like
Was
the
it
light
for-
gun, but a
was it-
bazooka.
Was it for
It was for
Rampage?
no, it was for
Rampage.
No.
Is that the city game? Like the 3 monsters in the
Yeah,
city?
yeah. Was it for that?
No.
I don't think so.
No, it was
you
a
played as
fighting
the
game.
monster.
I think it was a shooting game, because it was something to I think it was something to
Yeah,
bring the
shoot people with.
no, to shoot objects or something, or be that thing where you concentrate on something.
Target?
Strategy game.
Strategy
Oh.
I think so.
Simulator.
shooting
I think it was a simulator.
Okay.
I had one, but I got rid of mine.
game. See a
Um,
theme going on here.
Yeah.
That'd probably be number
Back
4.
controllers.
Yeah, that'd be probably number 4 on my list.
I said Genesis, 64, the original Nintendo. Even I'll say Super Nintendo too was pretty bad because it's flat, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
Eventually, it hurt
probably-
my hands.
I could say it's probably either good or bad. In my case.
I feel like you gotta go with more modern ones because back then, they didn't.
Yeah, it's still new. Okay, modern one. All right, let's say. Um,
Like N64, I would consider that like the earliest modern one.
Yeah. Okay.
So from there on,
Maybe original PlayStation.
original PlayStation.
PSX.
Yeah, the gray controllers.
Yeah.
It didn't have joysticks yet.
No analog.
It
Pretty
felt,
light.
It felt light. The buttons didn't feel like it was tactile enough, so I feel like I had to, like, especially if you're trying to play Street Fighter, you slide your hand,
Yeah.
your finger, your thumb to.
Was that the one that had the joysticks in the middle?
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Imagine the PlayStation without the joysticks.
Oh.
The joysticks came in PS2, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, it came on later on in PS1, but it wasn't.
For certain games.
Because I remember
Yeah.
you had the PS console, then you had the PS1 control, the low version of the PS1.
That came out way later.
Yeah. Then came the full size 2.
Remember the half size PS1s?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Slims or whatever they call it.
Something like that.
Yeah, they've been doing that for every iteration of the PlayStation now.
Yeah.
Now you can find a dang PS4 Slim.
Yep.
Is it? They have that now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's what I have.
Oh no, I have no idea.
Wait, no, it's not. I have a PS4 Pro.
Same,
But it's slimmer than the original one.
yeah, same.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to clarify for everyone.
Oh.
Honestly,
Okay.
I didn't even know what I had. I was like,
What do you think is one
Anyways.
of the better controllers? Not the best, but one of the better ones. I have one in mind.
one of the better
It's
ones.
probably debatable too.
Okay.
People probably don't agree with this, but the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it's
that's
a
fair
good
to
one.
say. That's like I think that's what like almost all of the modern controllers are based on too. Like I was saying like
The
Dreamcast
side
did a
of
lot
it?
of firsts.
Yeah.
They have the 2 analog sticks, the buttons, how they're laid out.
No, they have one analog stick.
Oh, the one? Well, analog stick for sure.
Yeah.
But what is it? The trigger buttons. I
Right.
think that was the first to have the triggers on the
Uh-huh.
back, left and right.
But for me, the reason why I picked that is because ergonomics. It felt good.
Yeah.
Like the grip on the side grips, it filled. It filled my hand out well.
Mm-hmm.
My hand didn't cramp up at all. Versus the other controllers like PlayStation.
Yeah.
It did feel cheap. Like the third party ones felt cheap. Remember Mad Catz?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
That
Mad
brand
Catz.
of controllers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That company still around.
Always.
Still around.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh damn. I guess they're doing something right.
Yeah.
Just being cheap controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your better controller?
Better, not best, right? Better.
Yeah, just better from what we talked about earlier.
Well, I have 3. Like I don't know which one I would consider best, but I have 3 that I would say like probably my favorite ones. I don't know where you want me to start with that. Start with one of them. Okay, so I'll say the Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah.
I think that's nearly a perfect controller.
Nearly.
Ergonomically.
Yes.
Or pretty. All right. Maybe it is the perfect controller. I don't know. But if it's not perfect, then close to it.
Why is it nearly?
I don't know. Because there's no such thing as perfect. But anyway, what I do like about it is, ergonomically it feels nice.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels really natural. Like all the button placements, the triggers, and everything. Like I don't know, I love everything about that controller. And I remember when the Xbox One came out, I was like, I saw that controller, I was like, man, it's just gonna be better because that's just the next step or whatever.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's different. Like I bought it to use on with my PC,
Yeah.
the Xbox One controller. I was kind of disappointed in it, to be honest. I don't know, like I think ergonomically, or just for my hands, like it didn't feel as good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just didn't feel right compared to the 360 controller.
This is the 360. Okay, so PS2 had the analogs in the middle, both
Yeah.
in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they still do.
Yep.
360 on the left hand side
It's on
flipped the
yeah.
D-pad and the joystick.
Yes, correct. Like the joystick is on the top left, and the
D-pad
Like-
is at the bottom.
bottom.
I remember at first it was hard for me to adjust to that
Mm.
because I was so used to the PlayStation one. But now that I think about it, I feel like it's better because all your movements for your character is on the joystick. So why not have it higher up?
Right. Yeah. That's like where your thumb rests. you
Yeah.
know? So yeah.
So
ergonomics.
I feel like 360 has one of the better designed
Mm.
controllers.
Like if you look at the Switch control, their Joy-Cons right there, it's the same position. The joysticks
Yeah,
top there, bottom.
it is. Even back to the Switch. I feel like alone using it as a individual Joy-Cons,
Mm.
that's extremely uncomfortable.
Hmm.
I don't think it's meant to be played for long periods of time at that mode.
Right.
But when I put it on the handles, it feels a little bit better, but it still doesn't feel all the way there.
Right.
The handles help a lot, but like eventually kind of get tired of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hard to hold.
Yeah. Because it feels like it could fall out my hands. It doesn't feel like you're driving or anything.
Right.
You have the Pro Controller, right? The Switch Pro Controller.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
And see, that was one of the other three that I was
Really?
gonna say
Okay.
that I really like.
Go ahead.
It's very similar to the 360 controller, which is probably why I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best controllers I think I've used.
Okay.
Again, it's like same button layout as the 360, pretty much. The only gripe I have with that is the D-pad sometimes gets finicky. Like if
Really?
you try to press like right, sometimes it'll press up or down by itself.
Oh wow.
Do you have the wireless one? The Bluetooth, whatever it is?
Yeah, I do.
I'm looking for a used one or a cheaper one. I'm waiting for a super cheap one to come
Yeah,
out.
I recommend it. I mean,
Yeah.
they have third-party ones too. What I heard it's pretty decent,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll probably have to look at reviews on that. But
Yeah. Because I'm trying to
Yeah.
get one by the time Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 comes out.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be on that
Oh.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get it soon. All right. Are you going to get it?
I don't know. I'll see. We'll see about that.
Okay.
I'll check out some reviews or something.
And I got to get Nintendo Online anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Roeun, don't you have one more? Sorry, Ricky.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so real quick, so my other favorite is the PS4 controller.
Okay.
I really like.
I still have mixed feelings about that one. Because
Go on.
I had mixed feelings about the PS2
Mm-hmm.
and 3.
Yeah.
Which were pretty much the same thing. I think what it is, it's the part under the triggers where it's like the little curve, and then you fit your fingers fit under that a little bit.
Right.
I said like 5 times.
No, that's funny because I never imagined someone would put their fingers like.
Because I don't want to press the triggers by accident, so I
Okay.
rested around that
I
area.
right.
And when I rested around it too long, it kind of gets a soreness on
Uh-huh.
it. I don't know. I'm just weird. That's probably just me.
It's fair enough.
Mhm.
However you like to go with the
The
controller.
PS4 is slightly different, right? Like it feels slimmer in the hand.
Compared to
The 2 and 3.
yeah, slimmer, more ergonomic, like the angles of the shoulder buttons.
That's right. That's
The
what it
face
is.
buttons too, even like the handles, like everything. It's
Are the
pretty different.
joysticks still close together, or does it feel further apart? Because I feel like it's longer now.
Yeah, a little further apart. Now I will say, like the for the PS3 controller,
Yeah.
I hated that controller. It was like so light, like lighter than the PS2.
Did you get the one with the rumble in it? There was one with just the sensor only, and there's
Mhm.
other ones with the rumble and the sensor.
I think it had the rumble in it. The one
Okay.
that I played with, but it was still, it was like really light, and it just felt cheap and
Mm-hmm.
not comfortable. I don't know, it just felt
Yeah.
weird. So I thought I wasn't gonna like the PS4 controller, but when I got that, I really liked it. So
Mhm.
kind of the opposite of the Xbox and the PS4 were kind of different experiences for me.
Roeun, you got better controllers that you enjoyed playing with?
Yeah, I probably would have to narrow it down to my top 5. See, number 5 probably be the Xbox One.
The Duke?
Yeah, the original one.
That was hard for me. Go
Yeah, it was innovating when it yeah. I say number 2 would probably be Nintendo Wii U or whatever, the
the
original.
remote?
Yeah.
The Wii.
Interesting.
Number three would probably be the PS4 controller.
Okay.
Number 2 would probably be the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And number 1 would probably be the original Nintendo.
All right.
Yeah.
For the Wii U, can you explain why you think that one was one of the better ones?
Probably because of the ergonomics of it. Because you had 2 separate things to control with.
Right.
And you could use them both to play motion games or whatever, and hook it up to the the thing to play the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of goes to Nintendo always innovating different, I guess, technologies or
Yeah.
what you want to call it.
Yeah, because you look at every console, like each iteration is not
It's
similar
not
to
the
the
same at
before.
all.
Yeah,
No.
it's very different from what happened they did before.
Remember when they announced the Switch and they said they had combined Nintendo's greatest consoles into one, basically?
I don't know what they
So-
said.
From what I remember, they combined the classic, because it's classic. So when
Mhm.
you play the Joy-Cons alone, it resembles that.
Right.
The portability with Game Boy and the DS. The innovation with the motion sensor with the Joy-Cons, the Wii U, and I forgot what the other one was. 64. I don't know what they said about the 64, but they said they combined all those great systems into one, which is the Switch.
The Switch.
Which, I mean,
I never heard of that
Which is-
before.
you never heard of that?
Oh.
It was in their conference when they first announced it.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, I like Nintendo for always trying new things.
Mm.
The Switch was definitely I think it's a game changer. Like
Yeah.
you could dock it to make it a regular home console, and you could take it to go.
Yeah, portable and at home.
And you could split your controllers to share it.
Yeah, now that you're saying about like them combining all those elements of the past ones,
Mhm.
I can like see that now.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes sense.
And I mean, that's a good thing. I think they know their audience too, which is like the younger crowd. I don't know if it's fair to say that the younger crowd that's not too much into gaming, but they just want to play that fun.
Like casual gamers.
Yeah, casual gamers.
I think nowadays they're appealing to both sides, like the casual and
Mhm.
hardcore-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Serious hardcore. Yeah.
I mean, they got me.
Yeah, there's like a fine balance that's kind of hard to get, but they've been pretty much right on the money.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been gravitating towards Nintendo, at least now, because, like I said earlier, I could just pick it up and put it down, which is most of their games, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I have Kirby, I have Mario Tennis, Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
I could just put those games down and pick it back up easy.
Yep.
I mean, you have a Switch. Do you find yourself playing it often?
Not recently,
Yeah.
just because I think I've burned through like all the games I wanted to play.
You already beat Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda, Mario was great. Everything. There's more, but yeah, it's a really great console. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really awesome. Even for me who like has a PC, like I love my PC. That's like number
Yeah.
one for gaming for me. But the Switch is super convenient when you want to play something on the go. And I mean, just Nintendo's gaming library is just
Yeah.
unique. I mean, obviously you can't find that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Just make great games. So
I think one of the things that was lacking when it first came out was the lack of like exclusive titles.
uh-huh.
I mean, the only one was Zelda and Mario
Mario.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
And then it took a while for them to get other exclusive titles to draw more people in.
Right.
There was a few games that's coming out. Like I said, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which I'm looking forward to. Another one called Astral Chain.
I don't think I've heard of that.
What is that about?
It looks like some sci-fi futuristic beat 'em up type of game with swords and lasers and stuff like that. It looks fun.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it's right down your alley.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, games like where you could play with friends at home locally
Mm-hmm.
is also another thing that I like. Like just having that human interaction of playing games.
Right.
You know, like NBA Jam, or if you get Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
yeah.
we'll be playing that. I'm sure.
Oh, speaking of NBA Jam, they have a game, NBA Hoops, I think it is. Playground. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it is. You have that?
I have the old one.
There's
I
another
think.
one?
They
Oh
have
yeah,
the new
there's a
one.
2. I forgot there was 2, but yeah, I played the first one. That was great.
It was
It
fun.
was a lot of fun.
It's not the same as NBA Jam, which I was kind of sad about,
No.
but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, like close
like-
to it.
It's like a cross
Yeah.
between Jam and NBA Street, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Kinda.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
with
cool.
that.
Yeah. Damn, we already got an hour and 20 minutes in. We have a thing for top 5, or not top 5, but best 5 video games.
Yeah,
I
sort of
kind of
thing.
have mine. You guys kind of have yours.
It's
right?
hard to pick just 5.
Yeah.
I know it's hard
Difficult.
for you, Ricky. You have a lot.
It's hard. I'll tell you that.
Roeun, you want to run through your 5?
Yeah, let me run through my 5
and
real quick.
tell us why you picked those games.
I'd say probably number 5 will probably be Super Mario Brothers. Classic.
Yep.
Game never dies
Mm-hmm.
because he's always evolving. There's always a new iteration coming up years and years later to this
Mhm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 would probably be Street Fighter,
Which one?
the original Street Fighter 2
Okay.
on Super Nintendo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 would probably be Mega Man. Futuristic.
Just the series.
Yeah, this is futuristic and the storyline.
Platformer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Classic.
Number 1, you want to know what my favorite video game of all time is? Contra.
Really?
Yeah.
He said,
Nintendo.
really? Just
On
let him.
I know, but
on Nintendo, and especially with the 30 live
Code. He just loves the code.
Yeah, the code, the cheat code.
wasn't there a code where you kept all the guns, or just
No,
Is it? That's a game where you have to hold the shoot button the whole entire time. Right?
Yeah.
But it was just a huge number of bad guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like not in the traditional sense, but you could kind of call it a bullet hell game, where it's just a lot of bullets coming at you.
Oh, okay.
Like Gradius. That was a bullet hell game. You remember Gradius?
No,
Okay, never mind. Super R-Type?
okay,
kind of.
I remember that game.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's my top 5, y'all.
Okay, you'll go last, Ricky. I know you have a hard time.
Okay, Vila, your turn.
All right. This is there's no specific order.
No Pacific Order.
Specific.
Sorry.
Specific.
So I said top 5, but there was a split between 4 games for the spot number 5. So I just name it all right now. Silent Hill,
Nice.
Resident Evil,
Wow.
Ooh.
Devil May Cry. This is all tied for 5. Devil May Cry. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm just thinking of your list.
And Omnimusha.
Wow.
Remember that?
Yes.
Do you know what that is? So what those games have in common is horror, underworld, zombies, and it's third person.
Also, so you said Resident Evil, Devil May Cry,
Silent Hill,
Silent Hill, and
Omnimusha.
Musha. Aside from Silent Hill, those other 3 games are all Capcom.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. I think the reason why I like Devil May Cry and Omnimusha, which was basically you fighting zombies with like these cool powers.
Yeah.
Especially Omnimusha, where you're a samurai, and I remember at one point you had to fight a certain demon monster with a specific element type.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember like the bow staff, the element of that power or that weapon was wind or earth. And then they had the fire sword. I forgot what the water one was. But being Onimusha, because it was like a samurai age, fighting monsters, swords. At that time when I was playing as a teenager, I was like, oh, this is sick. Devil May Cry the same way. You have these otherworldly powers.
The fighting in that game was
Yeah,
awesome.
The fighting was nuts. You have a sword and gun combination.
doing all these tricks and combos and
Resident Evil. So this is weird for me. Resident Evil, because I like the over the shoulder one better versus the old school one camera angle. And
it started with Resident Evil 4 was the over shoulder one.
Yeah, I like that one better. Than the old one, because the old one, it was hard for me to control.
Yeah, tank controls they call it.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the camera angles
it was tough. Especially when you're trying to run away from the zombie.
Sometimes you run back
you
towards
get disoriented.
Yeah.
The latest Resident Evil play was a new one, 9, is it? Where you're in the hillbilly
7
house? 7?
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned this earlier a few days ago. I had bought this for my nephew for Christmas along with the VR. Playing it in VR, one, I got motion sickness, but from what I did play, I got terrified.
Oh yeah, I bet, man. I don't know if I can do like VR horror games.
I could have done it. It's just I got motion sick real easy. Like I played the VR stuff before, like Vive and something else.
Oculus.
I was fine with that. I think because my body and my mind was moving in unison.
Right.
The controller for Resident Evil, my body's sitting still. My mind is thinking I'm moving because of what I'm seeing, but I'm moving with the video game controller. So I think that threw off my equilibrium. If that's, I don't know if that's scientifically correct, but yeah, I felt off. So I couldn't play for more than 10 seconds, which is nuts.
Dang.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Understandable.
Silent Hill, which is similar to Resident Evil, I like it because it was straight up scary. Demons, like straight up demons. The story was nuts too. Like you're in this town, and then at a certain time, you go into some. It flips upside down, like Stranger Things, kind of.
Oh, okay. I never played Silent Hills.
You never played it?
No, I've seen a lot of stuff about it, but never played it.
It's not as. You're not as equipped with weapons like you are in Resident Evil.
Right.
Sometimes your weapon is just a handgun and like a lighter or something like that.
And you know, what's a fun fact about that? Even though I haven't played it, I know, like the first game at least, you know, the fog in the town and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They did that because of they were kind of limited on like space on the game disc, you know, so they had to put the fog to hide everything. But it worked out in their favor, obviously. You know,
That's
it created it to the atmosphere.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Damn. So that's all 4 of those games tied for number 5.
Awesome. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like 1 through 5.
No.
Holy.
No.
Okay. So a couple things to know real quick. Animusha.
Yeah.
I think they have the remakes or the ports or whatever on the Switch.
Really?
Yeah. Like I think David
snap.
had it. Now that's another game I haven't played, except for I played a little bit on David's Switch.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, so I might look more into that.
I think that's like one of the first games I actually played from start to finish.
Yeah.
Also, it had an aspect of puzzles. We had to open the chest
Right.
to get the puzzles
Mhm.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, see,
That was
that's
cool.
very like Resident Evil-esque to me, I think.
Yeah.
But also, so speaking of Resident Evil and Devil May Cry.
Mhm.
So originally when they were making Devil May Cry, it was supposed to be Resident Evil 4. But it was so different that they just made it its own series.
Really?
Yeah, is that crazy?
How would it be Resident Evil 4? I'm trying to think. Did
That's-
they
that's
tweak the story? I'm assuming.
Probably, but I mean, you can see how much different they are,
Yeah.
obviously. So I guess they just split it off into its own, series.
What was the main character's name again?
Dante.
Dante. Okay.
Yeah.
Classic games. I never played the sequels to Omnimusha. I played Devil May Cry 2. That's it.
3, I love 3. Devil May Cry 3. It's my favorite.
Didn't they make another release? Like a 4th one or 5th one or something like that?
Devil May Cry 5, they came out recently, yeah.
PS4, right?
I think PC too, like maybe Xbox also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my number 4, classic Mario Kart.
Original one or which one?
Any of them.
Anyway,
whole
this is the whole
series.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So yeah, my first
Great.
impression of that was in Super Nintendo. Played it with my brother a lot. Battle mode was fun. Did you ever play battle mode?
On N64, yeah, with the balloons, and you got certain
Yeah.
lives and all that.
So my brother and I played it a lot on Super, and it was always competitive, always fun.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of my reasons why I picked it. It's competitive, super competitive with me at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know with anybody else.
Yeah, sure.
Fun multiplayer, especially if you're playing locally.
Yeah. The mechanics are great, just like drifting.
Yeah, drifting,
and-
you get the boost.
Yeah, the boot when you follow behind someone. Drafting, that's what they call it.
Oh,
You know about that?
yeah.
When you follow behind and you get the boost and just weapon management and very, very good controls on that.
The one weapon I hate in Mario 8 Deluxe
Mhm.
is the dang blue shell.
Oh yeah,
In
takes you
the, in
out.
the octopus ink.
I think that one's fine. You can kind of see enough of the screen.
I'm used to it, but it's still annoying.
Yeah, at least it didn't impede you physically like the other ones.
When we would play it at your Uncle Owen's house, he's probably one of the worst players. So when I was number 1 in the race, and
Mhm.
he get the blue shell, he thinks he'll get me. But the trick to avoid the blue shell is just stop.
You slow down, right?
Wait until somebody passes.
Yeah.
you. 'Cause he's gonna follow
Yeah, I
number
know.
1 regardless.
Right.
So he thought he gets me. Anyway, that's super fun, competitive. My number 3. Yeah. So it's remember the X-Men Legends series,
Yeah.
and it eventually teetered into Marvel's Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
I like that one. Superheroes, adventure, missions, playing with your favorite superheroes with their superpowers, and the special team ups.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and
special
that
team-ups.
unlocks other powers.
Yeah.
Also, it's fun multiplayer. It's just a good beat 'em up game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big comic book nerd. So, my number 2, I don't know if you'll agree with me. Probably you might. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the second one specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the the most popular one, I think. And probably
Yeah.
people's favorite in terms of gameplay and everything too.
Really?
Yeah.
Amongst that Versus series?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because for me, it's a long list of characters.
Yep.
Crossovers between two different properties, which was fun.
The animations were great. Like,
Animations.
yeah.
The speed of it
Yeah.
was perfect.
Like, I sucked at the game, but it was a lot
I
of fun.
sucked too, but it was just fun.
So much fun. Yeah.
Who is your combination of fighters?
If I had to think, I think it was like War Machine,
Uh-huh.
maybe Wolverine,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know, Spider-Man, but those are all like Marvel characters.
You're close to me. I'm similar. Mine was Strider, the ninja.
Yeah, Strider was good.
War Machine, and Ryu.
Yeah. Good combo.
Because when you do that special power up move for all
Mhm.
three of them, I have Strider setting up the opponent in the corner or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
doing his close ups, close counter combat, and then I'll call on the two guys, Ryu and War Machine with the big beam.
Yeah, they both have big beams. Just the Hadouken and then
And he has
whatever
nowhere
the
to
one
go.
is.
I suck at that game, but it was super fun.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, and my number one, you probably know what this is, Metal Gear Solid series.
Wow.
That's my number
Very
one.
good.
That is my favorite game series of all time.
You're kidding me.
No,
You're not kidding
I'm
me.
not kidding you.
Okay.
My favorite. The stories is so in depth. Sci-fi, espionage. It has robots. Japan they call it mech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's nuts. I like
Yeah.
it. The stories are so deep. Like I can't see why it's not a movie.
It's gonna
Yes.
be.
It had to make it right, man. You can't just half-ass it.
You know the guy who did what was it Kong Skull Island?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be the director of the movie.
Wait, it's official?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
And he
who's-
apparently I don't forget his name, but he's a huge Metal Gear fan, so that
he better
makes
do it.
me
Jess.
happy.
No, it's not. I don't. It's the production company that's gonna give him the money. They better do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Awesome. That's a great list.
yeah.
I like it.
I guess an honorable mention: Splinter Cell. Remember that?
Oh hell yeah, man!
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Splinter Cell. Stealth games all the way.
Especially
That-
on the PS2.
I like stealth games. Obviously, the Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Like stuff that, like, I don't like the extreme shooting games where you just go around and shoot
Right.
people up. I like strategy.
Yeah.
You know?
Splinter Cell. My favorite was the third one, Chaos Theory.
I can't remember if I played that one.
That was really good. Yeah, it's hard to describe because they kind of similar,
Yeah.
but yeah, Sam Fisher. That's what I'm hoping for. At this E3 that I hope they announce a new one. It's been a long time since Splinter Cells
I
came
thought
around.
they just ended that series, right? Or no?
No.
They just stopped making it for a while?
Yeah. I guess to make other games, but I hope
Yeah.
it comes back.
Who was the company that makes them?
Ubisoft
Ubisoft, okay. Hideo Kojima did that.
did Metal Gear.
Which you're waiting for Death Stranding.
Yep.
I'm very curious about
too.
that one.
Me too.
All right, Ricky.
Oh man.
Number
Oh, let me.
one.
All this pressure
All right,
is on
so-
you.
I think I might have a lot to say. I don't know yet. I'm just gonna free.
Just name all of it.
All right. Well, before I say anything, so now you asked me like why I like video games so much. Why is my passion? Now that I'm a little more warmed up, it's like an hour and a half into
Yeah.
recording.
I didn't realize it'd be this long of episode.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could say like for me, like a lot of games, what I like about them and why I'm drawn to them is the like the sense of discovery
Mm-hmm.
and just like learning new things, like learning new mechanics and like how to play the game
Mhm.
the right way. And yeah, just I think that's what it is, just like learning. I like to learn, I guess, and I think video games help me do that a lot.
Yeah.
I, like back in grade school, especially, like it taught me a lot of vocabulary, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. Like this is a small example, but I didn't know what like ammo was until like GoldenEye. Yeah. But there's a lot of different words. That's just like a small example.
I'm
but
surprised none of us mentioned GoldenEye
yeah, that
in this whole show.
I was gonna
Oh, you
mention it
were?
later,
Okay.
but not the top 5. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much like the whole embodiment of why I like video games so much.
Real quick before you go in, you mentioned grade school. What was that one game we played in school on the computers? I think they had played it in Big. Remember the movie Big? Tom Hanks' Big?
Tom Hanks is big. I don't remember seeing that movie, to be honest.
Um,
Was it a 3D game?
no, it was like an RPG type. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Dang.
I don't want to go off to.
Okay, we gotta figure that. There's a lot of stuff we gotta look back on.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So let's just get to the list real quick. Where the hell do I start, man?
Do it.
Oh,
You start
okay.
however you want.
All right, let me look at
Just
this
name
list.
it all. If
Give
you
me a
have to.
second. Okay. All right, I would say. Oh man. Okay, let me move some stuff around. All right, no particular order.
Yeah, it's fine.
Half-Life 2.
I've heard of it. Never played it.
It's a great game from Valve.
Mm-hmm.
2 especially because, oh man, just I don't know, that game like revolutionized for me, like storytelling, like progression in a video game. Just the way with like gameplay.
Yeah.
It was one of the
yeah?
first games I played that was really physics based.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty groundbreaking. 'Cause,
Okay.
like the Valve had the Source engine that they just released with the game, and I don't know, just a lot of new mechanics. The gameplay was amazing. Just a lot of different stuff was cool about it.
Right.
It's hard to explain if you guys never played it.
The physics. What do you mean, like?
So they had later on in the game, you get a thing called the gravity gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gun where you can just like pull things to you and like shoot them at people or whatever stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of puzzle based like physics based puzzles, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to make like a seesaw, right? But you got to put like heavy weights on one side so you can get onto the other side.
Okay.
It was just amazing, like all the physics and just everything about it, man.
Right.
But yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
short on Half-Life. More recently, let's go with The Last of Us.
Is that with the guy and the little girl?
Yeah, guy and the girl,
Aren't they making a part 2?
which I'm excited to see on E3 again.
I heard that was pushed back. Did you hear about that?
No, till when?
I just saw it was delayed again.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. Okay. Anyways, about that one. So that one is, I think, just does a lot of things perfectly. I think for me. So everything from like storytelling to character development to gameplay to level design, like just all that stuff is just like well done.
Right.
Like that really was another one that was like dang, like you could do this stuff in video games. Like how the heck did they make this game?
Was that open world too?
No, it was like linear,
Okay.
but gave you enough freedom to do stuff.
Right.
But just the entire way that game was designed and the music, man, it was just amazing, man. And that's one of the games I wanted you to play. Yeah, at least the intro of it, just amazing. The acting, like I can go on and on about like everything I love about that game, but
cool.
Yeah. So there's that. And then kind of in a similar vein, same kind of reasons why I like it. The most recent God of War 2018, which is like I guess God of War 4-ish, but they just call it God of War. But same reasons, character, story, gameplay, all that good stuff. Finished that very recently as of recording. Let's another one. So this one's a multiplayer game, probably my favorite like online game of all time. It's Team Fortress 2.
I've heard of that.
It's another one from Valve,
Right.
who also made Half-Life 2. It's a class-based first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 9 characters you can play as. You gotta do a certain objective and win with your team, basically. Yeah. That one was really, I'm gonna say like well designed, like a lot, but yeah, just I don't know, the design of the characters, like the classes, the mechanics, and playing as a team was huge because I don't know, like other games, like let's say like Call of Duty or whatever, it's not like 100% team based. You can like win on your own, just shoot a bunch of guys, but TF2 for the most part, you needed a team to finish your objective. Then going on from that, we have The Binding of Isaac. I don't think
I've never.
played
What
it.
is that?
So Binding of Isaac, it's a top-down game. It's very similar. It's inspired by the original Zelda games, like top-down. Yeah, that game.
Okay.
It looks really weird.
Is this on the
but
Switch?
it is, yeah. Yeah,
Let me
they
see.
ported it to the Switch. Top-down game. It's called a roguelike, which it's hard to explain.
Roguelike.
Yeah. Which I'll let you look into that, like,
Okay.
off mic, I guess. But that's a great game. Great gameplay. You can play that game forever. Like
It doesn't
on and
stop?
on and on. No. and for reasons that I'll tell you about the roguelike.
Okay.
This is the genre itself. Where
Okay.
it'll let you play forever. Underrated game.
That was $5.
Next one. So I have like 4 left, I guess. Okay. Next one, this is the whole series is the Mass Effect series. And I don't know if you know what that is. Sci-fi.
I've heard of it,
Yeah, me too.
So Mass Effect 1 through 3, like they're kind of RPG-ish kind of games with shooting elements. And that one was like one of the first series I've experienced that like have you make decisions that come back to you later.
Okay.
That you can choose a quote unquote good path, which they call Paragon, and then like a bad path, which is Renegade. And then you can make like a lot of choices. It's about like saving the world, the galaxy basically, but there's a lot of small choices you make along the way that come back to you in like later games. Like one choice you make in 1 can come back in 2 or 3, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was awesome. It's just the whole world, like the world building and all the crazy different species and planets and technology. It was just awesome. Great series. And then next, moving on.
I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of these.
There's so much.
Like Last of Us, I've been curious about.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do this in a kind of a weird order. So my probably my number one favorite game of all time, I would probably say it's The Witcher 3. I don't know if you know what that is.
I know that they're making a movie. Or a TV
oh, yeah,
show.
Netflix TV show, yeah.
It's the guy that played Superman?
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy about the TV show, but the video game is amazing.
The Witcher.
Yeah, The Witcher. Kind of like medieval-ish. It's about a Witcher is like a dude who hunts monsters,
right,
and whatnot. But a lot of the monsters sometimes they're just regular humans, but they're just quote unquote monsters,
like demi humans.
Yeah, and just regular humans. They could be monsters. You know
okay,
what I'm saying?
It's kind of like is it almost like Omnimusha, in a sense?
I don't know.
Hunting demons?
Sort of, kind of. 3 especially is like open world.
Okay.
So you take like contracts and stuff. But man, the overall story on that one is amazing. Gameplay, it wasn't the best that they could have done, but it was good enough.
Okay.
So I think what really drew me into it was the not the gameplay, sorry, the story, the acting, the character development. That game took me over 100 hours to finish.
100 hours?
Yeah. Over 100 hours. And I loved it all the way through, man. It was incredible. Like, there's nothing else like it, I think. Dang. It was amazing.
Dang.
Love it.
I'm shocked you didn't have Metal Gear. Oh, you still have more?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Well,
okay, you have more.
So I said that was my number one game, right?
Okay.
But my number one series of all time, just like you, is Metal Gear Solid. Amazing series. Like, I was surprised that was your number one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my game, man.
Man. All right, Metal Gear, man. Like,
that's why I've always asked you, how's Metal Gear 5? How's Metal Gear 5? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, now I know. Awesome. Yeah, so Metal Gear Solid. Remember when I think we might have rented it from Blockbuster, like me and my brother. But back then, my uncle had it, Tino had it too. But back then, I would never play it because I was terrified. I would just watch people play it. I was terrified because you're just this one dude by himself. You got like a little trank gun, and you're like an entire base full of like armed guards. Like that freaked me out. You know, the alert sound comes on.
Anxiety.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, they just all want to kill you. And yeah, for the longest time I didn't play it, but just like one day I think with starting with Metal Gear Solid 2, I gave it a try, and I just fell in love with it, man. Like you said, that like it's very tactical.
Yeah.
Espionage. I think they have that on the title.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's tactical stealth espionage or something like that. But
was that one of the first games where it's a stealth game? So was it one of the first ones where sound was a big thing in it? Like if you make too much noise, the guards would notice you.
Yeah, like footprints. Like Kojima, the creator, he puts a lot of like crazy details. Like in MGS1, near the beginning, you'll be running around in the snow and you'll leave footprints. So the guards will see the footprints. Whose footprints are these? And it starts, following them. Yeah. And, like you don't know what to do in the beginning. You're like, oh, he's running around, but he still sees your footprints the whole time.
That was a good detail.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. There was a part where like he has Snake, the character you play as, he has cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they drain your health. You're like, okay, that's useless. But there's some parts in the game where there's like invisible, like infrared lasers,
Mm-hmm.
and if
Oh,
you
wow, that's
equip the
interesting.
cigarettes, the smoke from the cigarettes will reveal the lasers to you, so you can like dodge them and all that.
I think it was in Metal Gear 3 where you're playing as Big Boss in the woods.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, cigarettes did drain your health,
Mm.
but I think in 3 it had like an anxiety meter, or if you're kind of tired or
Oh
something.
yeah, that was in 4
And
actually.
was it in 4?
Yeah.
And if you're aiming and you're
It was
tired,
steady,
it was
yeah.
very shaky.
Yeah.
And the only way to stop that shakiness, you had to smoke the cigarette, because apparently in real life they say cigarettes calm
you
nerves.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened in the video game, which is a very slight detail, but for games, like, oh, that's
Yeah.
very highly detailed of you to
Right.
to
Like
do
who would
that.
think of that? Real.
Yeah.
Like, only Kojima, man. But yeah, like all those like tiny details in the gameplay, it's pretty wild.
Mhm.
So I wonder what he's gonna put in like Death Stranding. Like,
A lot.
yeah, it's like a lot of crazy mechanics, man. Like,
I mean, even this, it's just the category of being a sci-fi alone. It's his imagination is crazy.
yeah,
Like, it's
It is.
great. I mean,
it's
I don't
pretty
say
wild.
crazy.
Yeah, like oh, you were talking about the story. Like, it's very in depth.
Yeah.
It's crazy hard to keep track of. Like I call myself a very avid fan of Metal Gear, like a
Mhm.
huge fan. I don't think I know everything about it. I
yeah,
try to
like
remember
story-wise,
everything. Yeah,
like
I can't
I
just
know-
keep track, but it's hard.
it revolves around like conspiracies and
Yeah, shadow governments.
shadow governments. Yeah.
Um,
Like I remember too, the thing that was the Sons of Liberty. I
Yeah.
still don't know what that means.
I'll explain a lot, but yeah. I mean, there's so many like the themes of it. There's so many different themes about like you're supposed to be the hero, but you're just actually a puppet for other people. You know,
Like
like
this greater scheme. That's,
yeah, like you're always
doing
being
bad,
used. Yeah, you think you're doing the right thing, but in the end, you just
Mhm.
get screwed over.
And I forgot which version. I think it was 4, where he was just a guy without a military, a guy without a country, right? He was
Without
old
country.
old Snake. Because 1, he was working for somebody.
Uh-huh.
2,
He was kind of working by himself, sort
Was
of, kind of, yeah.
with Otacon. Remember Otacon?
Yeah, mhm.
Yeah. I think 4 was the same way.
4 was
was rogue.
same as 2, yeah,
Because I remember both armies was, if they both see you, they'll shoot you.
right.
4 was scary for me, where they had the ghoul-like Metal Gears. They were flying or something.
The flying Metal Gears.
You remember that?
I remember the geckos, but they were like
Geckos. That's what. Yeah,
yeah, like amphibians. They jump really high. Is that what you're thinking of? Or
they were
something
robots
else?
though, right?
Yeah,
They freaked me out because
Yeah.
they were so fast.
and they made like cow noises. For some
Really?
reason. Yeah, it was weird.
Oh,
It
man.
kind of a little weird at MGS4, but
I
I
liked it.
still liked it. Yeah, Nothing, I didn't hate it.
Yeah, almost at an hour. I still have a lot to talk about video
I
games.
know, me too, man. I mean, no.
I guess the last thing we could talk about is like the future of gaming. Like
Mhm.
how I mentioned, well, when I thought about this was when we played that VR a few years back at your cousin's house.
Mhm.
I felt like, man, if they keep developing VR gaming, it's gonna be the next huge wave.
Right.
Do you feel like it's still going that way as far as VR goes?
Yeah, I think it can still get there.
Yeah.
Like the games you see right now, they're not like amazing, full, in-depth games.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of like playground, sandbox type games. But yeah, I think you give it time, and you'll see a lot of really groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know, again, to mention Valve, Half-Life 2 and TF2. I think they said they're working on like 3 like full-length games for it now, and they have a track record of making really great games. Like they
Right.
know what they're doing.
What do you think will be like the next totally different experience of games? Like there's VR
Mm.
and kind of also exploring augmented reality. What is that?
Lawnmower, chainsaw.
Oh.
I don't think the mic picked it
I
up.
think it's Metal Gear.
Yeah. That
That'd
sounded
be
like
creepy.
a gecko.
Though. Yeah. So VR they're kind of dipping their toes in that augmented reality.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the next innovation?
In gaming,
You think it's gonna be like holograms, or is that too much diving into realism, like Matrix type?
And I'll probably get to the Matrix eventually.
Are we in the Matrix? We are.
But maybe the next one's probably like touch sensory controls.
Yo,
You know, like a
that'd be
bodysuit.
freaky. Playing a shooting game with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or about something lighter, like say it's
Mhm.
like Zelda. You're running through the fields, you can feel the grass on your legs,
That'd be wild.
stuff like that. You know, it doesn't have to be getting shot at all the time. But feel the
I
wind
feel like it'll
breeze.
be some type of projection where like something would project your entire room wall to wall as the environment.
That's kind of
and
like
you have your
augmented
controllers.
reality, right?
Yeah, in a way. Like but at a grander scheme.
Right.
Cloud gaming.
Yeah, I think that's more of a tough one because you got to make sure that all the internet speeds are right.
So it's gonna depend on internet then
Yeah,
for that. Google
Stadia, I think.
I mean, you showed me that, and then I was like, does it depend on computer too? Computer power.
Your internet connection, but like a lot of people don't have the best internet connection.
Verizon Files is not the best.
Surprise?
What do you mean? Roeun, what do you think the future of gaming is?
Just more advanced than what it is today, I guess. Like you say, the last one is the Google game thing, where it depends on your the speed of your connection of your Wi-Fi bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we grew up from basically the start of video games to like this future of
Mm-hmm.
video games. Did y'all imagine in your wildest dreams that it would reach this point? Like hyper realistic looking graphics, VR, stuff like that.
Oh no
Did you
way!
ever even fathom this idea back in the day?
I don't think so. Like, yeah, what it is today is like super realistic, like all the graphics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could have ever imagined it back when I was playing Mario, Duck Hunt and all that. But I don't think I thought about it like, oh, where can this go, back then. But now it's just
It keeps getting better.
it's
Like
huge.
now we think about how can it get better.
Yeah.
But back then it's like, oh man, this is like the best.
Yeah, like it'll never get better than this.
I remember seeing Rainbow Six for Dreamcast. Like, yo, this is nuts. There's a tree right there. Even Metal Gear 2, I thought it looked pretty real when it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. This has been episode 6.
Yep.
Dang,
Sure.
we did 6 already.
Yep.
Dang.
2-hour episode, yo.
That's the longest one yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
With Tino was an hour 40, and this is hour 52.
Dang.
Um,
And this one can be longer.
Yeah, it could be
I
long,
know. I
but-
still have a lot to say about video games, but I don't want to keep you guys for too long.
Yeah, let's cut it off here.
To close the show, real quick, I want to give a shout out to all the listeners that have been listening to our show on various platforms. Again, I don't know where you guys are listening from or which country you guys are residing from, but thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The past 7 days from today, which is Friday, we had 47 listens. Not as much as last time, which was 160.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, thank you to the people, the 4 people that gave us 5-star ratings on iTunes. I don't know who you are. Y'all could have left a review too on the comment, but y'all just left the 5-star rating, which is fine.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
yeah.
But yes, if you do like this show or have a comment, go ahead and leave another review on iTunes, because apparently iTunes algorithm is more important than the rest. I guess real quick, you could find Full Timers Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Full Timers Pod, and you could find me, Vila on Instagram, Twitter, and that's it. And Roeun at Roeun on Instagram and Twitter. You can find Ricky here at this microphone. He lives at this microphone. He waits for everybody to come
24/7.
here.
Yep. Just sit here and wait until it's time.
He basically plugs into the Matrix until we come back.
Yep.
And we will come back next week with E3.
E3.
Yep. More video games.
More video games. Probably another 2 hours for real. Yeah, that's it. Any last words, Roeun?
No, not this week.
Not this week.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Play responsibly.
Play responsibly. And also shout out to Kel Mitchell for also he liked my picture and left a comment on my picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So shout out to Kel.
Hell yeah.
And that wraps up the show.